I hope that you're doing well today. Today I was just kind of bored at my house and I was like, what better to do than to make an eyeshadow palette? But then I was like, what do I want to be like my color inspiration? So honestly, I just kind of like started walking around my house looking for muses, and I remembered the Lego set that I got recently, which I talked about in one of my no-buy updates. So feel free to check those out, shameless plug. But I got a Lego set that is like a bouquet of flowers. I actually have it here, and I'll insert pictures of it too as we build the palette. But you can see, I just thought like, personally, that the color story of this is gorgeous, and so I kind of just wanted to make a palette themed around this little vase of flowers. So that's what I'm doing today. I'm just gonna make a like color story based around, you know, this little Lego bouquet. I'm kind of considering doing this as like a series. I feel like there's lots of things around my house that kind of give me inspiration, but if you want to see the first installment of this potential series, then go ahead and just keep on watching. Alright, hey everyone, so we're in overhead mode and you can see I have a bunch of beautiful colored shadows all in front of me. So I actually have the flowers that are the inspiration for this sitting next to me on my desk. But for you all, I'll go ahead and put a picture probably down at the bottom corner, so that way you can kind of see where I'm taking inspiration from. So I've already done the task of like pulling out a bunch of different shadows that kind of speak to me, and now obviously I need to narrow it down to fit into a 12 pan. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna put this part in like speed version, and then once I've picked out the color story, we can talk about what I picked out and why, and then do a look with it. Alright, so I couldn't narrow it down to 12, you guys. We already knew this probably was going to happen. I'm so, like, I don't know. It's so hard to narrow down color stories, you know? Like, oh man, that's tough. You can even see, I still have one here. This is Tucana by Divina. and it is a duochrome. It shifts like a peachy gold to like a pink. So I'm kind of conflicted about this one. I feel like it matches the color story pretty well of the actual bouquet. I just don't know what I would take out to like, you know, make room for this. So I'm just gonna leave it on the side and like we'll swatch it and see if I want to change anything around. Let's go ahead and get started with swatching though. So this first one is Depotted from ColourPop, and it is representing the like pink flowers. Technically there's 3 layers of pink with the flowers. I decided to only go with 2 pinks though, because I felt like that mid-tone pink just wasn't really going to add a whole lot to the palette. You might have seen I was swatching this and the BH shadow. I feel like they're really similar, but I feel like this one's a little bit deeper, and this has a lot of lighter shades, so I figured that depth could be really helpful. This next one is Depotted from the Surge palette by Blend Bunny. It is so silky smooth and nice. It's just a nice baby pink. I really like this shadow. I have a lot of like light pinks, but they lean a little bit purple. This one is straight up pink. And so I really like this one, and I thought that this matched those flowers the best. This next one, this like sagey green color, is also from the Blends Bunny Surge palette. It's a really unique green. The undertones in that palette are just really, really unique, and I thought that that matched the leaves perfectly. I was kind of considering the ColourPop one, but I like that this is like a little bit more muted because I feel like it can go with more things. This is Depotted from BH. It's just a dark brown. What you all probably can't see in the picture is some of the flowers have like thorns on them, like the roses do. Here, you know what? I'll just pull one out. Okay, give me a second. Y'all, I just tried to pull that rose out, but like the vase that I have these flowers in is like really thin, and so it's pretty hard to get them out. I'll insert a picture so that way you can see. But there are like bits and pieces of brown, and so I figured I needed a brown, and plus it was nice to like keep it with a neutral option, which I like to do in a lot of my palettes. And then the last one for this first row is a dark green, which I feel like you can kind of tell, you know, lots of dark green in this bouquet, so I figured it had to go in the palette, right? So first row, all matte, but I really like this color combo. I think that even this could be a really interesting look. So second row, we have 2 different sets of purple flowers. We have what like is lavender, and I forget what the other one is called, or like what the Lego is supposed to be. This one is for like that deeper purple flower kind of in the back of the picture, and then we have the lighter flower for the lavender. I also chose that one. Well, we'll get to it in a second. This one is for the roses. The roses are like a nice like cream color, and I thought that this was a nice like cream leaning pink color, so I thought that it matched the roses really well. So yeah. Then the roses in like the center have like that beigey color, so I went ahead and chose this one. It's Depotted from BH. Oh, I should have said what all of these shades are. This is from Terra Moons. It is Star Crazy. This one is Depotted from the KKW like Cherry Blossom palette, and then this one is Depotted from BH. And you can see it's just like a nice like highlight color, which I thought was really helpful for like grounding this palette, and it matched the roses really well. Next up, we've got this orange. So I don't really have a ton of oranges. Orange, just like IRL, is my least favorite color. So I don't have like a lot of orange clothes or orange eyeshadow or anything. It's not a color I gravitate towards. But this one from Divina Lynx is really, really beautiful. It's got like an orange base with like a green and gold shimmer in it, and you can see it is very, very impactful. Really, really beautiful, and of course represents that bright orange flower in the middle. Not quite as bright of an orange as the flower is, but honestly I think that that matches the vibe of the color story a little bit better. And then the last one is one that goes in a lot of my palettes. This is from Clarity, and it's called Playboy. I really like this shade. I think it's gorgeous. It's really, really shifty and shiny. It's like a purple with a gold reflect, which I thought was really good for the lavender because there's like purple and gold in the Legos. So I thought that was a good one. Okay, so last row. First we have this green. This is hot spiced cider from Terra Moons. It's a nice like greeny brown, which again I thought kind of tied in that green and brown. And I was looking to add a green shimmer, but I didn't want anything like too bright. And so I don't know, I just kind of thought that this was a good one, and it's a shadow that I haven't gotten as much use out of, so I figured it would be a good way to use it. Now, you know, in my camera, I feel like these two look way more similar than they do on my arm. They literally look completely different on my arm, so that's kind of interesting. It just shows how like the camera can kind of change, you know, what things look like. But yeah, okay, next one, Depotted from that same Blends Bunny palette, just a classic gold, and it's very pigmented, very sparkly, but also like metallic looking. It reminds me a lot, these shimmers remind me of the Glam Light shimmers or the Beauty Bay shimmers, so like that same like kind of like squishy formula. And that is for the lavender, like that gold in the lavender, and then like that orange flower also has gold in the center of it, and so that's what that's for. This is for the daisies. They've got like those bright yellow like centers to them, and so I figured Geese Lang by Sydney Grace would be a really good color for that, and I just thought it looked so nice with the rest of the color story. Then we've got this guy, which is Zira from Divina. It's a white-based multi-chrome that shifts green to orange, which again I thought would be nice for the overall color story, and I thought the white base would be good to represent those daisies and the white in the center of the roses. And then last but not least, this is And Peggy from Pretties for Your Face, and I didn't really have anything that like really like punchy green at the top of the pink flowers, so I figured this was my best bet. But there's a shade from Sydney Grace I really want. It was out of stock when I had placed my Sydney Grace order back in like their Christmas and July sale, so I didn't get it then, but it still is on my list for after my no buy, that I think is perfect like as a color dupe for that green. But until I have that, I think that this is the closest that I can do. So here is the color story all together. And you know, I'm kind of thinking these three shimmers are all like kind of like the same like tone, you know, like they're different, right? They're like very clearly different. But I think I could maybe get rid of this gold and replace it with this one. Let's see how it looks. Let's just swatch it at the bottom and see how we feel about it. I'm not 100% sure, but I just think it could add something a little more different, you know? What do we think? I think it definitely is more different than like these three. So I am gonna take this out and put this in, so pretend that's not there. I don't wanna like redo all of these swatches, but that's what the color palette is gonna look like, and I think it's really beautiful and represents the actual bouquet really well. All right, so I've got my palette right here in all of its glory. I'm thinking that, you know, as per usual, I'm gonna do two different eye looks. So today, I am just kind of feeling like listening to my podcast. Right now, I'm re-listening to Not Another D&D podcast. It's amazing, highly recommend. But I'm just gonna put that on and speed through these looks, and then we'll talk about how they turned out here at the end. All right, well, here are both looks done. Went with a halo eye for this one. I did like a purple yellow thing. I was trying to go for like the lavender as the inspiration. The purple yellow I felt like looked a little strange, so I ended up putting that like Playboy shade from Clarity all over it to try to like soften it a little bit, and I think it worked. I mean, I'm pretty happy with it. I think it looks really interesting. Maybe not like the most cohesive look, you know, like the purple and yellow obviously clash because of the color wheel, but I think it looks pretty good. This eyeliner shape I tried is different than normal. It's like a little bit thicker, but like doesn't like wing out at all. It's interesting. I like it. Let me know what you guys think down below. This one, I just wanted to play with like the pinks and greens in here a little bit. So I used this shade on like the outer corner with this one all over the lid. I'm not sure what you are seeing, but I thought like the like pink gold duochrome would be really nice to kind of tie everything together. I went ahead and put Zira on the inner corner and the brow bone as a highlight. Not sure if that was the right move. I feel like it kind of stands out in not like the best way. These shades from Divina are like really, really chunky, so there's that. But I'm really happy with how both looks turned out. Let me know what you all think in the comments down below, and I hope that you enjoyed this. If you're curious about like me building more palettes with, you know, like random inspiration, let me know down below. Also feel free to check out close-ups of these looks on Instagram. But until I see you next time, I hope that you stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy. Bye!